Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I want to appreciate you so much because of your great support. Please consider subscribing to this channel. Kenya is going to receive an additional of 162.5 billion Kenya shillings under the 38-month program that it has with the International Monetary Fund. In this channel, I want us to have a critical analysis towards a kind of IMF fund in the Republic of Kenya. It is not only in the Republic of Kenya, but also there's something that has come out to affect those countries that has been always depending from the IMF fund. I know some people sometimes they don't understand what does the IMF do. According to my research, is that the IMF has three critical missions in a country. Number one, furthering international monetary cooperation, as you are, for example, a member. Number two, encouraging the expansion of trade and economic growth. Then number three, discouraging policies that will harm prosperity of a country. Then lastly, IMF members countries, they always collaborate to ensure that they assist their members if only you are a member. Now, I know some people, they might thought like this IMF is at least going to make Kenya to have a relief because of maybe high taxation or maybe because of the situation that Kenyans are passing through. But in this channel, I want you to understand a very critical issue when it comes to IMF. Remember, when you got a funding from International Monetary Fund, that is IMF, they usually dictate everything. And that is why when I read a certain statement, is that the IMF has come out to agree to add Kenya an additional fund of 162.5 billion Kenya shillings after Kenya had complied with their expectation towards the taxation across the Republic of Kenya. And as much as we are concerned, some people do not understand why sometimes this taxation always rises. It is because of you find a government or a country had a funding from IMF, then through that IMF, they got a dictatorial kind of managing their things from the IMF, where when you look at the taxation, it is not the government or the country that is now controlling the taxation, but it is the suggestions and also the decision from the IMF so that their obligations must be met. And which, or rather, what are these kind of obligations that IMF is looking for towards a country that they are funding? One thing you must understand, that this is an international monetary fund that always assists a country for some kind of obligations. One, to support the development. Two, to further or encourage expansion of trade and economy of a country with other countries. As we speak, Kenya is among the 190 countries that are members of IMF. last month, or rather last week before, we saw the boss of IMF meeting William Samoei Ruto in State House. When I saw this, it was something that was not as usual. It was not the business as usual. It was something that was being crafted in State House. And those who understand whatever is happening is that, one, is William Samoei Ruto and the IMF boss, which when I saw the report from William Ruto's social media handles, when he posted that he had met the IMF boss, this created a certain conversation across the Republic of Kenya, as we expected that there was certain mission of William Samoei Ruto going for another funding. And this funding might, of course, support us or encourage us to have economic stabilization, which, according to me, I don't believe that IMF can bring so-called kind of economic stabilization. Why? As long as they lend you money, or as long as they fund you the resources, it means they will always come out to dictate on how you collect revenue, on how you must implement certain issues or government agency issues that connect to the revenue that you have collected. So upon my realization, I have realized that it is simple and clear that as long as IMF is joining, and of course you are a member of IMF, and IMF has come out to fund certain projects across the Republic of Kenya or other country across the world, then it is a very clear indication that, ladies and gentlemen, you might not find yourself doing your own things through your ideas, but you will find you doing things from the ideas of the IMF, dictatorial kind of leadership. And by the way, how do you understand the way this IMF give, or they always give their policies? Is that I have realized that when you look at the kind of policies that IMF is having, is a kind of, yes, financial assistance, but at the same time, it is not a financial assistance. It is a kind of financial slavery that as long as you have that support, you cannot do your things independently. You must conform to this kind of international funders or financiers. But what is my message? My message is this: Kenyans should not be celebrating because IMF has come out to agree to add Kenya an additional of 162.5 billion Kenya shillings under 38 months program that it has with the International Monetary Fund, IMF, after William Ruto showed a firm commitment to implement a stringent tax policies agreed with the Washington-based global lender. So William Ruto is using a stringent tax policies agreed with the Washington-based global lender. It is not out of William Ruto's government. It means that William Ruto is just riding on a decision that has been made by a certain West countries that this is what you must do, or else you don't get any kind of funding. So, ladies and gentlemen, is it a kind of sincere financier that can come and tell us that now this is the decision that we have, and because you are going to finance your development, we are going to at least assist you to stabilize the economy, but we must have benefits. And I want to say, by the time of approval of ongoing extended fund facility, EFF, an Extended Credit Facility ECF arrangement in April 2021, the program was set at 322.4 billion, and that was estimated at $2.34 million. So there is an increase of 162. Imagine the decision was 322. Now it has been increased. So with the William Ruto's administration receiving more cash from the IMF to combat drought and climate related challenges or economy, I want to say it is not something that we should celebrate of. It is that as long as we are getting this kind of financials, is that we are going to bear all the cost, including the high taxation, including the prices of commodities are going to be hiked. That is because sometimes the effect of IMF. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my opinion. What do you understand about IMF? Drop your opinion at the comment section below. Otherwise, thank you so much because of great support. Please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing this video. Till we meet on another video.